Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Straight to the Apex podcast, the Formula One podcast that brings you all the Formula One news, race reviews, race previews. There's often a quiz, if not always a quiz, and great Formula One content. Before we get started with the Formula One podcast, please do take a moment to like, share, subscribe and comment. And if you've got an extra bit of time, please do drop a review and let these guys and everybody else know how much you love the podcast. Right, let's get going. So here we go. This is CookieCast, straight to the apex.
This meeting is being recorded.
Hello there again, guys. This is episode 9 of Straight to the Apex. As always, quick thank you to Andy and all the rest of the guys at CookieCast for letting us join their platform and really get us going. I'm your host this week in the driver's seat, James Stainforth, with my two pitmen, Mark Wilkin, the legend that is.
Hello.
And Tony, I take 8 minutes to make a cup of tea. Rawson. How are we doing, lads? We good?
Good, thanks. Cup of tea's in the mug, look, match available.
Good, thank you.
It was Tony's 30th birthday present, and then we all got one. Cheers.
Yeah. It was.
Before we get onto our usual stuff, anyway, before we get onto the F1 stuff, we've got to talk about Tony's 30th. We did the go-karting.
Do we have to? Do we have to talk about this?
Yeah, we didn't do that bad.
Right, okay.
And mate, there's always vengeance. As you can tell already by Mark's upbeat tone here, Mark didn't do very well at go-karting.
Well, I mean, second.
But who beat
You're
you?
not first to last, mate.
That is true.
Who beat you?
Yeah. If we're going to stick with the racing kind of theme, let's go with Talladega Nights, mate. You know, if you're not first, you're last.
Well,
Who
exactly. Who beat me? Some prick. Everybody, Tony Rawson managed to beat me, and I quote, he's been practicing on a computer game on his phone, which made him good enough to beat me. Apparently.
The guy hadn't even been go-karting since my stag do, and that was nearly 7 years ago. And yeah.
Look, let me tell you something, right? Let All right? It was let me just set it out for the ladies and gentlemen that are listening and boys and girls, right? It was two 15-minute practice runs, and you had to do the quickest lap. And straight out the bat, I just told everybody, look, I was a bit naive the first and last time I did it for James's stag do. So I'm going to go out the traps, I'm going to go hard. And that's what I did. But domination. From the word go to the checkered flag. Absolutely just led from the start. Absolutely annihilated the field. Annihilated Mark. I mean, we let Mark go first. He had the pick of the cars and they gave him the first car, and we still beat him. He had the track. He was at the front. I mean, pole.
That's not technically
true. He still got beat. Mark, a little bird tells me that Mark was running 5K every other day for 2 weeks up to this, just to try and pinch some seconds. I was playing on games and eating 12-inch pizzas with 4 wings, chicken wings, and large fries, and I still beat him. So we went in for the second practice. Shared a few tips, and again, beat him. Unstoppable force that I am. Absolutely dominated from start to finish. Couldn't beat me. I was like Popeye on spinach. Honestly.
Popeye spinach.
So,
in case you haven't picked up on this.
I had Thor's
Oh, God.
hammer in my pants. I was fucking going that hard.
Those
I was
four already.
going that hard.
Get in.
I had Thanos, both gloves on, mate. Both gloves on. Completely unstoppable. And you know what? We were supposed to have a tennis game tomorrow, but he ain't got back to me yet about that. But it don't matter. We could play Thursday. We could play Friday. I'd still win. We could play Saturday. I'll still win. We could play twice on Sunday. I'll still beat you. It don't matter. You name a day, anywhere, anytime, any place, and I'll beat you. And you'll never live it down.
Why do you sound like the Gypsy King? Why
I was about to say, is this when you're going to start singing Sweet Caroline or
I
something?
know.
Where it began.
I mean,
Other songs available.
So there we go. That's the story, ladies and gentlemen.
So yeah, in case you
I may
guys
not be
didn't
the
pick up on
brightest.
any of that.
I may not be the brightest, but
Say that again.
I'm the fastest motor racer on this podcast.
You may not have picked up on anything there, guys, but Tony's quite happy about his little victory on Saturday. In fact,
I'm more
Tony
than
was
happy.
Tony was that happy with his victory on Saturday as well that he didn't just celebrate a little bit in the mid break kind of thing. He then rang his other half and literally just said, "I beat Mark," and put the phone down. Then he decided to tell pretty much everybody in the venue that we didn't even know.
Staff, strangers,
Yep,
random
staff,
people.
strangers.
He probably shouted it from the window at the top of the building to cars driving by. I mean,
Oh, it went up on the rooftop like Leonardo DiCaprio in
Yeah.
Titanic, just shouting, "I'm the king of the world" or something, wasn't he?
I had people walking up to me and they
You
were
said
going,
enough.
"I've never seen
You said
anyone
enough
that
now.
broad
zip it.
since Browser on Mario Kart." Absolutely smashing them. No bananas, no fucking shells, smashing them out the way. Bam! Every time. They couldn't stop me. They couldn't stop me if I tried. Honestly. We'll do it again and I'll win again. We'll do it again and I'll win again. But
See you
that'll be the
later,
end.
everyone, ladies and gentlemen.
that'll be
Thanks
the
for
end.
listening. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Yep, that was another 2-hour episode of Straight to the Apex. Next
Really,
week
can it-
we'll talk about the actual race.
Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. We won't go on about that anymore.
No, we've
No.
wasted enough time.
We're kind of talking anyway. And I really like the idea that I mentioned of we'll get a little trophy kind of thing, and we'll do a few more of these, and whoever wins that week gets to keep the trophy for the rest of the podcasts until the next one. So for now, let's just imagine Tony's got like a little trophy that he can just keep right there.
Oh, yeah. I've got a trophy, actually. Let me get it, mate.
God, did you go out and buy it especially? Is it already engraved or something?
What the hell has he got?
This was a trophy.
You haven't just like gone out and bought that or anything, have you? Especially,
Yeah.
That's another trophy that you've earned or Beth's earned or something, right?
No. No, that's the trophy they gave me at Team Sport in Leeds. They said you're the man.
Let him
You're
have
the
his
man.
small victory, Jim. I beat him last time at your stag do. I think I actually humiliated him. I did more laps on Saturday. How he ended up... He beat me fair and square. Not a problem with the first one. The second one, my machinery did let me down. We all knew what cart I was getting into. Let's not worry about it. Let him have it. Let him have it. Look at him. He's gone on for 15 minutes about all this shit. Look how smug he is. It was his 30th birthday.
Is that how long it's been? That was 15 minutes of Tony talking about being Mario and the Gypsy
I don't think
King
he
and
took a
everybody
breath.
else.
I don't think he took a breath. So
He's got
Look.
gills. He's just breathing outside there like that. Circular breathing. So, yeah, obviously, guys, this was it was Tony's 30th on Saturday. So we was all out during the day. We had a couple in Leeds. Then obviously we came home, and Tony had a nice little surprise birthday party, which, you know what, a really good spread. I shouldn't sound so surprised. Really, it's meant to be a party. It should be a really good deal. It'd be pretty appalling if one. Oh yeah, Tony had a surprise birthday party. It was shit. But no, it was a really good night, and We said it on
Good.
Saturday. We see each other every week, and we talk every other week on the podcast and stuff like that. But actually being face to face with each other again for about a month or so is just fucking brilliant. So let's keep that going as well, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously we didn't watch quali on Saturday. I watched it first thing Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Don't know when you guys would have watched it. But it was nice knowing that the race was obviously on Sunday evening, so we had that time to go through quali and catch up with Ted's notebook and all the other stuff. Big old shout out to Ted.
Ted doing his stuff.
So,
legend.
So quickly before we get on to qualifying, you guys got any news?
What's with this big fight between Mercedes and everybody else about Porpoising?
I was going to say, are we going to instigate Horner's Corner now?
Yeah,
or Wolf's Corner now? Let's go with Wolf's Corner with a little bit of Horner's Corner.
We kind of teased about this, didn't you? That he kind of absolutely booted off. Is this the whole politics of some teams that are porpoising and bouncing more than others are now saying it's a safety issue and we need to change the cars full stop? Is that what all this is about?
Pretty much. We've been going on about the porpoising for weeks. And obviously, I think we mentioned it on the last podcast, didn't we? With Russell complaining that he was feeling sick from the bouncing and Hamilton struggling to actually get out the bloody car. He's just looking like an old man trying to get out of the bathtub at the moment. It's just, it wasn't great. But apparently there was like a principals meeting on Saturday and it just all kicked off in there. My understanding is that the subject of porpoising came on and Wolf went off on one. He didn't really get heated at first. He was trying to get his point across. You know, he's looking at the safety of the drivers and stuff like that, which I get. But I also understand what the other drivers, the other principals are saying as well. For anyone who don't know, basically what happened was Wolf got onto it, started going on about the porpoising, saying that they need to change the regulations within the new F1 cars and everything else. At which point, he pretty much had both Horner and Matteo Binotto, the Ferrari principal, both saying, you're only saying this because you're losing, you're not winning every race and everything else like that. You've got no issue with the porpoising. It's just that your car's not as quick as ours. And that's when Wolf kind of blew up and just fucking... Everything I found on it always says the same. He lost his shit. It's pretty much all they said. He tried saying, "Oh, you guys are just deliberately perpetuating the safety problem. You're not looking at the safety stand, for the drives or anything. You guys don't care." And at that, Horner pretty much turned around to him and said, "You need to sort out your own house first."
I think we've alluded to before, and Horner had said before a race, if it was the other way around, he would be exactly the same as Toto Wolff. So, I've got no doubts that if Mercedes were in front again, he won't be kicking off and won't be losing his shit.
No,
they're all out to be number one, and unfortunately, Mercedes and his team haven't done a good enough job, have they? So
no, but we say it every week. At the end of the day, it's all mine. It's not just the race on the day and everything else like that. It's also what the principals are doing and all that stuff. They've got to do their little part because that adds the drama. But it's also getting in the other, the other team's heads and whatnot. But yeah, and Ted Kravitz said it as well on his notebook. He said Wolf's going on about it, but if his car was the fastest every week and the other drivers started complaining, he'd be saying the same as them. What I found out today as well was apparently Horner turned around afterwards and said, "Oh, I think he's been a bit dramatic." And what with Hamilton's film coming out soon, he's probably trying to get a role on that. But apparently this all happened in front of the Netflix cameras as well. So I can guarantee in about 7 or 8 months' time, when we've completely forgotten about all of this and Drive to Survive comes on, we'll be sitting there like,
yeah,
when it all just hits the fan again.
And it'll be made worse than it actually was as well, and they'll cut it to, it will be dramatised. But yeah, this politics bullshit is a lot of Formula One in it that you've got to put up with. And I mean, it don't look very comfortable, but to be honest, the Ferrari's bouncing as much as other cars. It's just fast. It's just fast. And like you say, Binotto has got bigger problems because they can't keep cars on the track due to reliability or the drivers crashing. So, but if he was bouncing and failing like Mercedes, he would be on as well, as would Horner. But the Red Bull seems so stable, and they've just done a bad job, Mark, haven't they? They've just done a bad
That's
job.
it.
So
That's exactly it. You've got an issue, and you're not, you're struggling to resolve it. Is it down to the budget gap, the cap, and everything else? Yeah, maybe, because all of a sudden Mercedes haven't got a shit ton of money to throw at it like they used to be able to. But at the end of the day, whatever situation you're in, every other guy in that field is in the same bloody situation. Horner's in. He's got the same amount of bloody money to blow as you have.
Yeah.
And look at them; they're all over you. That the points difference now in the standing for both the constructors and just between Max and Perez now is just ridiculous.
I mean, Horner could. I know he has moaned about the budget cap, but he could really kick up a fuss because obviously they've used a couple of engines. Ferrari have used a couple of engines. And Toto Wolff would probably fight him on that as well because Mercedes is reliable. So he'd probably say, oh, yeah, no, I don't want to spend more money. So like you say, it's all tit for tat, isn't it?
That's the only thing that's going well for Mercedes really at the moment, just the reliability of the cars. I make that little joke every now and then, don't I? Saying the only consistent thing that they've got is that they're consistently shit, but they're consistent. I mean, nice look at Red Bull this week. I mean, obviously, we knew we was going to have that issue with Leclerc. We knew there was going to be a grid penalty at some point with power units and everything else. Perez has been having a bit of a shocker this weekend, and that will have really helped out Mercedes because the two constructors in front of them, both Red Bull and Ferrari, both end up with either one of the drivers having to retire early or one of them just getting stuck in a shit ton of DRS trains. Whereas them two can quite happily sit there in like third and fourth and skewing the points. And yeah, you know what? I think at the end of the season it's going to be a little bit closer. I think Red Bull's going to do it, but I think Ferrari's going to struggle because as soon as they're starting to change their engines or anything else like that, and they're getting regular grid penalties. Every other week it's like, oh, so and so's gone to the back of the grid again, and then you've just got Mr. Consistent and Hamilton just sitting there in fourth and fifth, just going, hi.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
it's
just a long game.
Yeah, it is, and like you say, Ferrari can win a race when they're in a position. Red Bull have reliability issues. It was the gearbox this week. Like you say, Leclerc's took an engine penalty now, but who's to say that he won't have to take one again? And like you say, Max just plodding along. No reliability issues at the minute. They've just got a slow car.
That's it. I can't really think of any time that they've had any issues really with the power, their engines or anything. Was it Bahrain? I'm trying to remember now. There was one race where it was early on, wasn't it? And Russell was driving, and he said, "Is that warning a joke?" And I went, "No, that's serious. You need to cool the car down."
Yeah, because
where was that?
It was so hot, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's all I can think of where Ferrari have had a bit of a struggle with the cars, but I think it's going to get into it towards the end of the season.
Yep.
I think, just to summarise or give my point in all this, I think you've got to give the engineering and all the little problems and issues time. I feel like it's the first season. So you've got to let teams develop a car over time, over races. I think the Mercedes coming in and saying what they've said is a very poor timing considering where their car is compared to the rest. But for the FIA to then suddenly bring up a technical decision or something like that very quickly, that worried me slightly. And it worries me about the budget. And it worries me about all these changes to cars that are costing them points, basically, at the end of the day. Like, it's exciting, but in another way, it's quite worrying. It's like, kind of takes a shine off the season. We're we're talking about that instead of like the races.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Is it going to get to the races at the end of the year where we're going to have like 6 cars there? Because, like you say, budgets, But I noticed that they had 2 stays on the floor, didn't they, this weekend for one of the practice sessions to like stop the bouncing, and it didn't work. They took it off straight away.
And they took it back off again, yeah.
Yeah, and
well, that was the other thing Orna said. One, he said, "Oh, I find it funny that you're complaining about it when your car seemed a hell of a lot quicker than it has done in the last couple of weeks," which it has.
Yeah, yeah. Which, how can it go from being so bad in practice to, I mean, Hamilton was slower, but he was keeping up really with Sainz and Verstappen in the race. He was only like maybe half a second slower a lap, and you could see that gap slowly building. How can it be so bad in practice to then be all right in the race? There's something fishy going on, isn't there? There's something.
Yeah.
Not right.
Is this?
He gave Sainz a good challenge, though. He did give Sainz a good challenge.
Yeah, he did.
And if one for that last safety car, I mean, it'd have definitely had him, because just before that safety car, I think Sainz's tyres was about 28 laps old.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you going to say there, Tony?
It's just Hamilton. I don't get that. I really don't understand that. Hamilton in practice going the car's undrivable, to then when he's finished third, it's suddenly, oh yeah, we're gaining pace. We're getting a consistent. In front of the cameras. When he's in the car talking to the radio, it's like, it's crap. So I don't. Is it crap, or are they changing things all the time? Is it mind games? I don't know.
Apparently, setup wise, George Russell went one way, Lewis went another.
Yeah,
and they said they're experimenting in practice.
I think it was the rear wing or something. They both had different rear wings on. I think.
And then I think George ended up going the right way, so I think they copied then George's set up on Lewis's car, and I think Lewis did actually say, "Please, can we stop experimenting?" Because, like you say, you get into a groove. That's what you always hear about. Fridays into a groove. They're then adding to the car. These new, we've obviously touched on the new cars being brand new, but the engines and gearboxes aren't new. So I'm quite shocked that we're having so many reliability issues with them, because it's the same engine that what we've had for all the time. It's just a different package around it. So maybe the teams are pushing it with cooling, and I mean, at the end of the day, Formula One cars are 22 prototypes, aren't they? 20 prototypes, because they change daily.
That's what makes it exciting.
Yeah, so you're going to have breakdowns, but yeah, I mean, has the championship really changed from the previous years with other rules? I think we've said this before. Not really, has it?
No.
Well, see what happens next year.
Yeah.
So on to qualifying, anyways. So obviously it was Canada. There wasn't really much. I haven't got many notes really for qualifying, but it's not often we do unless there's something massive that really happened. I mean, in Q1, all I've really got there was it was towards the start, I think it was, Vettel actually started making comments about his car because they'd made some, I think it was down to the weather and everything else. He just said it feels completely different this morning compared to the other day when I've got no grip. And then afterwards, Ocon was asked if Sainz had blocked him. You there? Hello?
Yeah, sorry, we lost you there. When on afterwards, you froze.
Oh, sorry. Afterwards, just after the race, Ocon was then asked on the radio if Sainz had blocked him. Yeah. Sainz having a few issues. One, I think he was weaving about a bit.
I quite like qualifying when it's like it was. So it was wet, but it stopped raining. And then obviously you got the dry land. So you had the extreme wets at the beginning, obviously going to intermediates. George then tried the slicks in Q3 and it didn't work because he hit the puddle. But I quite like qualifying like that because it is kind of the last person to cross the line generally goes faster. So there was exciting bits, but like you say, there was a few crashes. We had a red flag.
So the red flag for Perez, yeah.
Yeah, who got stuck under the barrier, didn't he? But yeah, it was. I like qualifying when it's like that. I mean, it brought Alonso second. Like, what a lap that was.
Mm-hmm. Nailed it.
He very nearly binned it on the last corner, didn't he? Like, he was so close to that wall. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like you say, there was other bits going on, but normally a wet qualifying is the way to go, which Bernie did say about sprinklers on tracks.
Yeah. I remember reading a couple of years ago that pre-season and everything else like that for Red Bull, Max likes to do quite a lot is have the track wet. So he just practices on wet tracks all the time, which is probably why he's just dominating everything again. But yeah, Alonso on front row. You've seen all them posts that have been on Facebook. I saw a post this morning. It was like I think it was Leclerc and Verstappen stood next to each other just after winning a race. I think they were about 12 years old or something stupid like that.
No.
And it says, here's a picture of Max Verstappen and was it Norris? Might have been. It don't matter anyway. There was 12 years old. It said, this is how old these two were the last time Alonso was in this kind of position. It's like, Jesus.
Oh my God.
I know, right? Scares the shit out of you.
Jesus.
But no, Leclerc. I know that Leclerc never did any he never set any times, did he? In Q2, but what was the point really? I think they just used Q1 to get a bit of data with the engine that they had, and then
he wrapped it up then, didn't he? Yeah.
Save the tyre, save the engine.
Yeah, Norris had engine problems again. Obviously struggled.
I've got something on that. What I didn't know at the time was one of his power unit sensors had gone during the quali.
Yes. Yep.
So they had to then change it for an older one that he'd already used just for the race, which is why I think he started having the issues towards the back end and he just started to struggle a little bit. But yeah.
Not very much luck McLaren at the minute, are they?
They're struggling a bit, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are struggling.
They're crap, really crap. For what team they are and the brand that they are, it's shocking. Absolutely shocking. Somebody needs to go in there and stick a rocket up somebody's ass because it's just this weekend. Yeah, you can have a poor weekend, but this is McLaren. They've got Ricciardo and Lando. Like, you can't have weekends like this when you're a top team like they are trying to be. You can't finish with 0 points. You can't have these just.
The pit stop was a joke. Like, I mean, we'll talk about that when we talk about
the double stack. Yeah, I've got that in my notes. Yeah.
But like you say, McLaren are normally clinical. They're precise, and it's just not going well for them at the minute at all. So, but I ain't got any other notes on quali at all. Like you say, there's Albon got away with his crash. Perez went out and got wedged under the barrier, then couldn't select reverse, so he was already having problems with a gearbox qualifying, wasn't he, before the race?
Yeah.
And then Russell trying and failing with slick tyres. That's all I've got.
But yeah, pretty much the same with me. You got anything else there, Tony?
No, that's about it.
So obviously at the end of quali, the lineup was for the top 10 of the grid anyway was Max in pole, Alonso second, Sainz third, Hamilton fourth, K-Mag fifth, Schumacher sixth, Ocon seventh, Russell in eighth, Ricciardo in ninth, and Zhou Guanyu in 10th. I'm not going to bother with the other 10 because otherwise we'll be here all bloody day trying to go through 20 drivers, but it's just the way it is. What do you reckon, guys? Quick break there, and then we'll go on to the race and a little bit of a quiz and see if anyone can beat Mark again this week.
I don't think I don't think I could take being beat 3 times in a week. Jesus. I mean, one thing I will say is they kept saying on Sky about it being quite a mixed up grid, which, when you look at Alonso second, Magnussen and Schumacher fifth and sixth, wasn't really that mixed up, was it? Not as much as they were going on. Like, oh my God, we've got people out of position everywhere. Well, we didn't.
It was just a shame for some of them drivers. I mean, especially.
I love it when it freezes like this.
Did I freeze
back.
again?
Yeah, you're back there.
Yeah, you were like this.
Yeah, I look good. I look sexy. You like it, Tony?
Obviously.
Look sexy.
I know. It's a curse. See? But yeah, no, I was just on about Haas. K-Mag there and Schumacher and whatnot, and well, yeah, if I remember rightly, neither of them got any bloody points at the end of the race, did they?
No.
No.
Schumacher broke down, and Magnussen he got black and orange flag for hitting Hamilton, so his race was absolutely done after lap 1. But
he didn't pit. Crap, I'm sure I made a note on it.
I think he had to go into
I heard it on
his
his notebook. Yeah, but he didn't pit again for something like 40 odd laps or something stupid like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll get to the race shortly anyway.
Yeah,
we'll take a quick break, we'll get some drinks, and then we'll destroy Mark again.
Great, can't wait.
See you shortly, guys.
In a bit.
This meeting is being recorded.
And we're back. Part 2.
Number of dogs.
How's your tea, Tony?
Wonderful, thank you.
It's
great being on the podcast and drinking.
There we go. Oh, look, for the benefit of people who aren't watching us on YouTube, that was Tony taking a little victory sip of his 8-minute long stewing tea. And
I also got this book from a great friend.
Unfortunately, there we are.
Unfortunately, for many of the viewers at home, even if you watch on YouTube, it blares. So that was absolutely pathetic. Let's move on quickly.
Right, okay.
A bit like Mark's lap times.
Ooh, burn there, Ben. I've said what I've got to say.
Where did you finish?
What else
James?
can I say?
Where did you finish? I don't think you. Where did you finish, James? You still be happy on both races, weren't you?
I'm not going to repeat that. Mate, I shaved off 2 seconds. I don't sit there going, "Oh, I'm the greatest," and all this kind of stuff. I'm no Gypsy King like T-Dog, or you just go straight over roundabouts and everything else. I'm getting better. All right, and I was happy that I was able to get out of that car and wasn't in pain like I was 2 weeks ago. Okay.
Exactly.
I went through the training. I did even better in that one. Next time, I'm just gonna. Yeah, I know what I'm doing now. I'm gonna go for you.
But you won't be a smug git when you win, unlike some people. Well, all right, maybe you will.
Yeah, a little bit. Not as smug as
you will.
I think you will. Yeah.
Jesus, I don't think I'll be anywhere near what Tony was like. But just going up to hey, you see him,
beat him. I mean, it was like I was an F1 driver, wasn't it? And he was like, I beat him. I'm like, I'm a nobody. What are you telling people for?
That's a good point, actually. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Those random guys you were telling to, they was probably sitting there going, "So fucking what?
Is he a celeb or something? What you want to? Who cares? It was that little
when you
point.
When you can beat the kid who works there, and if the kid who works there does listen by any chance whatsoever. I mean, Tony, I would hope you spent that much time bragging about winning and stuff like that you did actually plug the podcast to some of these people. I would really hope you did that.
I think he took him out for dinner on Sunday, the amount of time he was talking to him.
Full on Lady and the Tramp, a little bit of spaghetti between the two of them.
I think I remember Mark actually sat on the floor near the bar. And a member of staff walked up and said, "Are you all right? Do you want a drink?"
I was probably sitting there thinking, "Do we need to get the air ambulance in?"
Yeah. No, it was just personal rage, mate. Just step away from me. Get out my face. Leave me alone.
I felt it. I felt it.
Yeah.
No, onto the race anyway, guys, and
Yeah.
not our race. Let's talk about the professionals race.
Absolutely,
which is what everyone's actually tuning in to listen to, not just us three old guys talking about, what we did in a go-kart that probably goes at about 40 miles an hour if you're going downwind. So what do you think of the race? I'm going to admit, when I first turned it on and I noticed it was sunny, I was gutted.
Yeah. But it did give us tyre deg, which kind of made it, instead of a boring one stop, it was a couple of stops, wasn't it?
That's always good. That was a good race. Actual proper track. Like I've already alluded to. Mix of where the drivers were. A lot of, good variety, really good variety. And I thought it was enjoyable. There was about 20 laps in the middle that was boring as hell. But apart from that, it's quite good.
Between the second and last safety car.
Well, we had two virtual safety cars. We had a full safety car. We had with some drama. I mean, it spiced up the pit stops and like people coming under the virtual safety car, saving time. Like Russell timed it right. Alonso decided he didn't want to pit because I don't think he went into the pit for bloody ages. He was just waiting and waiting, wasn't he?
It was lap 29 he finally went in.
God.
I know.
Is it?
I was sitting after the second virtual safety car. I was thinking Sainz hasn't gone in and Alonso hasn't gone in. I went, they're both sitting ducks now.
Mm.
And then I think Sainz went in shortly after, didn't he? And Sainz was lucky, really, in places, I think.
Is it annoying though that one of the top teams' car just breaks? Is it exciting, or does it really glorify?
It's exciting if it's the other driver in that car's who's breaks, but I was genuinely gutted for Perez there because we all know, I know a couple of weeks ago Horner turned around and said, he's in contention for the championship now, so we're just going to let him race. And then Perez just hasn't had much luck in the last two races, really. And you know for a fact now, well, that's it. It's going to be back to team orders and good old regular Red Bull.
Yeah. I mean, there was some funny bits in the race, like Tsunoda coming out the pits and then just ploughing into the barrier.
I've got that as one of my main points to bring up. I think that's one of the main talking points. That
was embarrassing.
That was very embarrassing.
I watched that a few times, and I still don't get really what happened there. It just
I think he meant
I'm coming out the exit. I'm done.
I think he meant to brake and he hit the wrong pedal, don't you? Because he just seemed to like spear off.
He must have been coming out the pits, not full on. Obviously, he'll have been going at the speed limit and everything else like that. Is it 80 kilometers an hour, whatever the speed limit is?
Yeah.
But he'll have been going top end and then just gone on like a lead foot, and that'll be it. And just cold tires, he just didn't stand a chance.
No, that it was quite funny.
Because he had a really good pit as well.
Yeah, he did. He had a real quick stop as well. Maybe
really
that's
good,
why.
really.
Maybe it was a real quick stop, and he was like, "Oh my god, that was amazing!" Oh shit, I'm in the barrier. Bless him.
Think of it like that. What do you think the pit guys thought? When they saw him just shooting out like that, lads, fucking great job. Oh shit.
Well, normally they all like high five, don't they, after a real good pit stop? So they'll all been like high fiving, fist bumping, and then just did this screech, and they all looked at the pit lane, and there's Tsunoda in the barrier, and they're like, oh.
He felt left out. He was coming back for a high five as well.
yeah, that's right.
Don't leave me hanging, guys. You poor sod.
I know.
Awful, innit?
Leclerc coming from where he did to where he finished. Was it?
He did all right. He got stuck in a DRS train for quite a while, and then he got lucky with I can't remember if it was the first or second safety car. I think it was the second one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, they all concertinaed, and he was able to get out of that DRS train finally. He didn't pit till for a while either, did he?
No. It took
Well,
him a
he had
while
a
to
crap.
come through. Took him a while to come through because, like, normally they steam through, don't they? But like, say, he was in the DRS training. When the field all spread out, I think that's when he started to go forward.
Yeah.
But he had a crap pit stop again.
Yeah.
Lap 42, and he came out behind Ricardo.
There was a couple of crap pit stops, really.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we're going to talk about McLaren's absolute shambles of a pit stop that, let's face it, Stevie Wonder could have done a better job of. But
I've still not seen the full footage of that. It like cuts
I
out
haven't.
where.
neither Stevie Wonder. Sorry.
But
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, you know, dad jokes, it's all I'm good for now.
Yep. Lando had.
They brought the wrong tyre out, didn't they?
Yeah, but they only had one wrong tyre on, didn't they? It was like the left
Yeah.
front.
But it was something stupid, like 3 of them didn't get out in time with the tyres, and the one who did come out with a tyre brought the wrong bloody one out anyway. So I was like, oh, great. I think it was like a 7-second stop or something daft like that as well,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
It was somewhat ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not good. But like you say, there was quite a few other stops that were crap as well. So I think it always tends to be when it's hot, doesn't it? That the stops like slow down and we have the mistakes. But no, you got any more notes from the race?
Alonso.
What moaning?
Well, no, that's pretty much standard, really. I mean, you know, a couple of years ago, every week it was, I need more power, more power, more power. He was starting to sound like bloody Jeremy Clarkson and stuff like that at times. But I thought in places he had a good race, and then it just kind of dropped, didn't it? I know he didn't pit for ages, and you could tell from the radio calls, all he had in his head was, I'm racing Hamilton. He knew for a fact he didn't stand a chance against Ferrari or bloody Red Bull, and if you were sitting there thinking you did, unless you're Tony, then I'm sorry, mate, you've just got delusions of grandeur. But yeah, he did all right. I mean, he pitted in lap 29, and I thought he's going for one stop, and then he just started falling back. He had I can't remember what the issue was. I think it was the pressure or something in the hydraulics or something like that again.
No, it was engine clipping. So at the top, it was clipping the speed, which is why he was following Ocon in his DRS to like keep him in front of people. And then at the end, he wanted to be let by because he said, I've been quicker all weekend. And I was like, no, just stay where you are.
Yeah.
But
I think Sainz was lucky in places as well, especially towards the end as well, because he'd only had, I think he'd had the one pit, Annie, in the second safety car, the second virtual safety car, if I remember rightly. And he was going on, and his tyres started degrading and everything else like that. And then you heard on his radio going, the safety car window's open, so if a safety car happens anytime soon, you could have a tyre change. And I was sitting there thinking, that's great. Are you really sitting there and just hoping for a safety car?
And then what happened?
That's ridiculous. And then about 2 laps later, who was it? I can't remember who was it who went into the wall.
It was Tsunoda. It was Tsunoda. That's brought the full safety car out.
When he came up. Yeah, he just come out the pits, and that's when he won it. Yeah. But, and he got his next set, and then that was it, wasn't it?
It was, but there was Red Bull was just, I think Max was just out of reach, wasn't he? I think Sainz maybe had 1 or 2 chances where he could have done him. And Sainz being Sainz, he just wasn't clinical enough. And that was it. Over, yeah. And I think Max was just managing it, wasn't it? It could have been epic. That 10 laps or whatever. Could have been absolutely fantastic racing.
There was a couple, those last 10, 15 laps, there was a couple times where it looked like you could have him. Because he was getting like the fastest third sector, but Max was normally getting fastest first or second. It was that chicane. He couldn't get an exit on that chicane good enough so that when he was in the DRS zone, he was close enough to get him. I think there was only 1 lap where he wasn't able to open up the DRS, but he just needs to get a bit better at riding the car. I know it's easy me sitting here just waffling on, saying, "Oh, all you got to do is exit the chicane a little bit better and ride the curves as good as Max and stuff like that." But yeah, it's not that easy, and Max just makes it look that easy. I can't believe I'm bigging up Max again. That's twice this week.
I know. What do you think, Sean?
It was just disappointing that Sainz couldn't really do anything. It just goes to show how good Max is, how good the Red Bull is.
It is.
This, you know what? Has anybody else got any more points?
Only Leclerc's pass on Bottas at the chicane, the last chicane, where he just held on to it. I think it was about lap 21, and he went up to like 7th, and he was like on the outside of Bottas coming into the last chicane, and he was nearly on the grass, and he flicked it in, and you thought, there's no way you're holding on to that, and he managed to like pull it off. I thought, fair play to you, you can do it. But no, other than that, like you say, nothing that we've not touched on.
What about you, James?
Only other real point I've got from the race really is, again, going back to Alonso. So we all saw the result. I'll quickly go over the result at the point of the race finishing, which was Max came first, Sainz second, Hamilton third, Russell fourth, Leclerc fifth, Ocon sixth, Alonso seventh, Bottas eighth, Zhou Guanyu ninth, and Stroll 10th. But then I think it was at like 11 o'clock Sunday night or something, it then got announced the FIA time, and I went, yeah, Alonso's having a 5-second penalty.
Was that for weaving? Is that what happened? For weaving,
I think he got a penalty point as well, but he got a 5-second penalty, which actually bumped him down to 9th.
I didn't actually see him weaving? Because I don't remember seeing any footage.
I can't remember.
Weaving. No.
I honestly can't remember. I only found out yesterday when Charlie told me, and I was sat there, I'm like, what? Because I'd just written down the standings after watching the race, and then Charlie told me last night. I was like, shit, I've got to check my results now, because that's different. But
that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, strange.
Wow.
Very strange.
Wow. I just think.
So for the drivers, that's made a massive bump. That's given Max 175 points in total. Perez is in second with 129. Leclerc is only 3 points behind Perez now at 126. For the constructors, Red Bull's running away with it now. They've got 304 points this season so far, and Ferrari sat just behind them at I say just behind them. Ferrari sat behind them at 228 points, and then Mercedes at 188, and then all the other guys. The next team after Mercedes at 188 is McLaren, and they've got 65 points. So
wow,
you can pretty much see your top three. And it'll just be interesting to see if second and third are still in that kind of order towards the end of the season, when Ferrari start getting a lot more grid penalties for power units and gearbox changes and everything else that they're inevitably going to be seeing. Do we have to talk about predictions?
Very, very quickly.
Yeah, okay. So I did shit. And there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so Mark, you had 14. Tony, you had 13. I had 18. I did absolute shite, and none of my predictions came in because I went Perez, Max, and Russell. Obviously, we all know what happened to Perez. Max won it, and Russell only came fourth, if I remember rightly.
Yep.
Tony, you scored 3 points because you went for Max to win, but you had Perez second and Leclerc third. I think the only sensible thing I had was that, Ferrari weren't going to do well.
Yep.
Mark, you had Max third, but you also had Leclerc second and Perez in third. So Mark and Tony, you both got 3 points. I got zilch. Ooh. So the standings now is.
What did I say last week?
For this one.
If you get into the lead, then you hold on to it, and I completely jinxed you. So I really do apologise about that. But it's basically
try and apologise without a massive smirk on your face again.
Yeah,
I'm really
and another
sorry.
20-minute bloody Mario Kart kind of thing going on, outburst. So yeah, that means
Trust
I've
me,
now
when I'm in
got,
the lead, I will.
I'm still on 18 points.
Okay.
Mark's on 17 points. Tony's on 16 points.
Oh, it's close now.
It's so close now. It's so fucking unreal, and I'm a little bit scared. And I really hope if I end up with a shoey that I'm doing that of a flip flop. What do you reckon, guys? Time for a quiz?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not going to be as hard as yours, Mark. I'm thinking about some of the listeners who might want to play along as well, not just sitting there thinking I've got to think of the driver's eye colour from the 1951 Grand Prix.
Can he
But,
put his book away? Can he put his book away? Because that'll be cheating.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
available.
Tony,
on
here's
all
your
stores.
first question. How many wheels does an F1 car have?
Do we include the
Where
steering
do I
wheel?
put it?
Yeah. Don't. I sat there and I'm like, I can't believe last week I asked if we were including the reverse gear for how many gears does a car have. So, right, I've got the 6 questions in total.
Okay.
First 3 is just some random ones. And the last 3 are obviously going to be Silverstone related, which we've got to talk about as well.
Yeah.
So, this is going to be fastest finger first. So just shout out your name as always. So, in the last, not including this season, but in the last 7 years at Canada, Hamilton and Vettel have both dominated it. But there's only one other driver that has won in Canada in the last 7 years. Who was that?
Tony.
Go on, buddy. Sebastian Ocon, yeah?
Rosberg.
Guys, I haven't frozen either. I'm just really, really impressed. It was Nico Rosberg. Tony, you've got 1 point.
Well done. Look at him. Look how happy he is. Bless him.
No, we'll move on. We'll move.
Yep.
That was good. That was good. That was good.
That was very good.
Thank you.
Multiple choice. And again, fastest finger. So Charles Leclerc has got the Grand Slam in Australia, making him the second Ferrari driver to do it in about 18 years. Who's the other Ferrari driver who's done it in the last 18 years?
Mark.
Your options are.
Oh.
Hang on, someone just shout a name.
Wait.
No.
Whoa. You decide, James, what you want to do here. You can either take his answer or you can give the option. Well, you decide what you want to do here. Why am I talking shit?
I'm going to take the answer here because this is exactly what Mark did to us last week. I think we've got to play by the rules. So,
Michael Schumacher, which is too easy.
Is the wrong answer.
Ah, damn it.
I've got
Tony, do you want to just go for it, or would you like to take your time and listen to the options?
I'd like to take my time and listen to your options, please.
Good lad. Good lad. So, your options are Felipe Massa, Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Vettel, or Kimi Raikkonen.
Could you repeat the question and the answers, please? Weird request, but
okay. So Charles Leclerc has got the Grand Slam in Australia this season. So that's pole, winning the race, fastest lap.
I know that.
Leading every single lap.
Yep.
Okay. Now he's only the second driver to do it for Ferrari in the last 18 years. Who's the other driver for Ferrari who's done it? That was Felipe Massa, Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Vettel, or Kimi Raikkonen.
I think it's going to be Vettel.
Incorrect.
Was it Kimi?
Fernando Alonso.
Oh, Fernando.
Yeah. Okay. Multiple choice again and fastest finger again. So, Mark, be clever this time. Maybe listen to the options.
I'll listen to it. Yeah, I'll listen to it.
Let's be smart here. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, Zhou Guan Yu is the only rookie driver this year. But what is his number? What is his car number? Your options are 16, 24, 25, or 14?
Mark.
Tony.
Ooh.
That was me, wasn't it?
I think it was me, but
No, I think it was me. But
Oh, I don't know what to do. I haven't got a coin. I'd normally say let's just toss a coin and see who can call it.
go on, son. You're 1-0 up. You go for it.
I was going to go
Gentlemen.
24.
It is 24.
Well done. 2-0.
2 points to Tony, nil point to
Got to
Mark.
win now. He's given me some goodwill. I've got to win because if
Right.
I lose this now, I will never. I won't live this down.
Right.
I
Okay,
won't
next
live
one.
this down.
Are you going to ring Beth and then drive all the way to Leeds and tell everybody there that you won again?
I'm just going to ring Beth straight away. I'll just be like, I've lost.
All right. Next 3 questions are all about Silverstone,
Okay.
or based
It's
around
gonna be-
Silverstone in so many words. Fastest finger again, guys. So together with Britain, which other country is the only one to have held a Grand Prix since 1950?
Mark.
Go on.
Italy.
It's correct.
Wow. That was good.
Coming up behind you.
2-1.
Gonna bite the pillow.
Okay.
So, question 5. On his first win at Silverstone, Lewis Hamilton finished how many seconds ahead of his teammate?
Are we going closest or?
Yeah, let's go closest.
You want to go first? Or shall I?
You go first, Mark.
Good shout.
I've got a figure in my head, but I don't know if it's right. I'm going to say 36 seconds.
Can you repeat the question, please?
So, on Lewis Hamilton's first ever win at Silverstone, how many seconds ahead of his teammate who finished second was Lewis? And Mark said 36 seconds.
I'm going to go 35.
I knew we'd do this. I knew it.
Look, it's always the case. That's why I like throwing these questions in, because
Yeah.
then we just get to be absolute dicks.
I think,
Unfortunately, Tony
I
went the
think
wrong way.
yes, because it was a wet race. It was a really wet race, and I think Hamilton absolutely annihilated everybody.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So
How many
his
seconds? was
teammate finished second. Lewis obviously came first, and the difference between them was 68 seconds. So it's only one question left, and we're
pressure's
level
on.
Peggy.
Right.
This is quality. This is great.
Right, this is a fastest finger one, actually.
Oh, fucking
So-
hell.
Just shout now, Tony, and just shout out a random name, and you never know.
Barakelli.
Uruguay. Jeez, they're normally a good answer. In the 1991 British Grand Prix, who did Nigel Mansell give a lift back to the pits after they'd run out of fuel?
Mark,
Tony,
Ayrton Senna.
was it? If he's right, fair play.
It was Ayrton Senna.
Well done, Mark.
Ring Beth up and tell her you lost when you were 2-0 up, you prick.
You know, Katie's warming up the car now for Mark so he can drive over to Leeds. You know that dick who beat me last week? Yeah, I beat him tonight.
I'm just going to knock on every door down my street and people I've never met and just tell them that I was 2-0 down in the quiz and I beat him.
Running down the street looking like some weird 118 guy.
I feel better now. I feel like, that was, I feel better. That was, thanks for that, James. Unlucky, Tony.
Don't say that, mate, because people start thinking I fixed it.
Look at him, looking quiet as a mouse, not going off on one now, is he?
Yeah, he went Mario Kart on your ass. You just went Mastermind on his.
Feel better now.
So, Silverstone.
Yeah.
It's going to be a
Interesting.
good week.
It's gonna be a good
load
week.
of drivers in it.
I want it to rain. I want it to rain because do we think Mark is going to actually do any good?
I haven't put my second place yet for my predictions because there's part of me thinking, you know what, Mercedes is going to do well next weekend, I think, isn't it?
It's 2 weeks' time. It's the 3rd of July, the race, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a good race. I think Mercedes are going to do well.
Well, it's a fast track.
I'd like to see Norris. Yeah.
It's flat, so they shouldn't have the bouncing. Hamilton, I think he proved at Canada. I mean, Canada's a Hamilton track, as is Silverstone. Russell just could not keep up with him after the safety car at all, could he? Couldn't follow him, considering, he's been beating him all year. So I think Hamilton's got the edge on Russell this weekend. I've just got a funny feeling that the mate's going to be garbage. But my prediction might not be that, because I've wrote mine down already, and I may have a mate.
I've just changed mine.
I have no clue. I've literally been deciding what to do. I even asked Beth at one point. Of course I did. I asked Beth everything.
Well, yeah.
Like at the dinner table, I put my hand up and I go, "Can I go to the toilet?" And she goes, "Yes." I go, "Oh, thank you."
At least she lets you. It can go either way. I think that's the beauty of this at the minute. Mate could turn up and be absolutely garbage, or they could turn up and absolutely nail it. They've got 2 weeks to work on something.
Yeah, and Silverstone was meant to be Silverstone's a deadline for a few things, actually. For one of them, it's meant to be for Mercedes to have their car up to scratch. And obviously, it's Pants and piercings as well.
Some piercing
Yeah. He stuck his earrings out, hasn't he? It's just a nose.
Yeah, he's just got his nose one now, hasn't he?
Yeah. But
let's have to see what happens there. But
Merck have always said, haven't they, like you've just said, this is the race that they want to be back in contention. So they've got to come with some big upgrade. They've got to.
I don't think they're going to end up in any kind of contention, unfortunately. I think, that they might get a good run in for second, but yeah, everything they've been saying has been leading to this. So they've really got to show something now. They really do. I don't know, but you're right. I mean, that's exactly what I've been thinking. It's Silverstone. It's a fast race. It's the British, it's a British race. Everyone loves it. Hamilton loves it. And when I was trying to find a lot of questions,
you could write.
What, sorry?
There's just so many storylines that you could write, and there's so many storylines that you could see. You haven't even mentioned like the Ferraris yet. Sainz had a good one. Leclerc looked good, but then still a bit of a circus in the Ferrari garage. So.
It's just that reliability, isn't it?
But then look at previous. Look, somebody's crashed. Somebody's just span out.
Anything can happen. That's the beauty of these predictions. Red Bull could break down. Ferrari could break down. It could be hot and tires blow out again. We just do not have a clue.
Record crowd.
Yeah.
How is that even possible? Because it just looks rammed every single year anyway.
Yeah.
Mate, it's awesome. I mean, we've got to go and do it. I've done it a couple of times, but you're sorry.
You've been recently. I mean,
yeah. I've been a couple of times. Normally going like Stowe, but yeah, we've got to do it. I think the three of us should go at some point and just do it because it's an awesome weekend.
Definitely.
But no, it's good. I mean, when I was looking for questions in the quiz, I noticed one of the things was around Nigel Mansell, and he said he always said that Silverstone was a half a second track because whenever he was there, he was always half a second faster, and it was just ridiculous. And obviously, it's because you're in front of your home crowd, which is what's really going to get Hamilton going. So I don't know. I think it could be good, and it generally is. The only thing I'm worried about is it's going to be a little bit disappointed because. Like what happened in Azerbaijan, we was all kind of expecting all the drama that we got last year because obviously Silverstone last year was where Verstappen had his crash and everything else.
Yeah.
And if not, we're going to be sitting there going, hot-headed, thinking everything's going to happen, and it's just going to be a race, which we wouldn't normally complain about, but because of last season, we're going to be sitting there going, no, it's not as good as last year.
I know.
But yeah, so usual rules, innit? So host goes first.
Host goes first.
Okay. So I'm being, I would say sensible, but it's just common sense, really. I've got Max for the win.
Okay.
It's got to be. I've got Hamilton second.
Second. Okay.
And I've got Mr. Consistent third.
Ooh, that's bold.
So I'm going for a Mercedes double podium. I know I'm pushing the boat, but
yeah,
but
but
if
like
Mercedes
could
really
happen.
are going to show what they're going to do,
Yeah, could.
Ferrari,
It's an order that I have contemplated,
Right.
but it's not mine.
Ooh.
Go on then. If you've mentioned your order turn, go for it. What's yours?
I thought host goes. I thought the winner goes next.
Yeah, winner goes second.
Winner of the quiz. Oh, winner. Right. Oh, sorry, that's me, isn't it? Yeah. Look at your bored faces. So
I like to get it on Saturday.
I know. Quite.
Remember when Mark
moody.
lost?
Yeah. So I've gone for Verstappen first.
Yep.
Because, like you say, it's after last year. I think he's got a bit of redemption, and I think he's just going to go out and blitz it, unless they have reliability. But unfortunately, Leclerc second.
Okay.
Go on. I know you're going to say third.
Hamilton third.
It's another good one. I did have Hamilton third originally.
Like you say, it could go either way. I quite like yours, but equally, in 2 weeks we could be saying, "What was we thinking?" You just don't know. You just do not know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. T-Dog.
Come on, T, did he?
So me and Beth have obviously spoken. We did touch on James's. This is.
Hang on, I'm just going to ring his brother Adam.
If we're in a
Maybe.
couple of weeks, because you know what you're talking about, this clown done. Right. Go.
This is the pick that I have gone with, and
Okay.
we messaged each other before. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is he just spelling Hamilton really badly, or is he kind of just going, I don't know what to do third. So Max, Charles, and Hamilton.
It's exactly the same as me.
Which is the same as Mark, and I understand that, but that is what
your pick.
what we'd written.
Hey.
Right.
Yep. Fair enough. I mean,
I'm
if
going
we're-
to box around them now, so they're locked in.
if we're right turn, we both jump him, and James is last doing the shoeing. So
Oh, shit.
I didn't think of that actually. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we could have a right swing in this, but
But then again, if we
If you two get 7 points each.
I mean, like you say, you could build up a gap again. Anything can happen.
no Perez in there.
No Perez at all. He
No.
could fuck it all up for all of us.
That's interesting, though, that none of us have actually put him in the top 3.
No Sainz.
No,
No Lando.
McLaren's nowhere
No.
near. No.
No, Lando's got another year or two before he gets anything really on Silverstone, I think, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You watch, he'll get in there. And
I know.
Sainz and Perez.
Yeah, that'll be the top 3, won't it? It will now. Now we've said
Probably
that.
sat there going, shit.
I honestly don't know.
No.
I really don't know. That was probably the toughest prediction to have had all season.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's the one we've been waiting for as well. And now that the scores are pretty tight, it's going to be pretty good.
It is.
But no, right, I think we're good then, don't you?
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, in that case, guys, I'll say the usual kind of stuff. One last thank you to Andy and Cookie Cast for letting us join in for their stuff. Obviously, keep an eye out for us on all the social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just look out for Straight to the Apex. And you can find these podcasts on Spotify. There's Tony showing his merch that isn't available for anybody else to buy. But yeah, keep an eye out for us, guys, and we'll see you all again soon.
See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
So there you go. What do you think to that? Big thank you to Mark, Tony and James for taking us through the last race, the next race, and all the race news. Thank you for listening or watching along. This one does have video, so if you are just listening, jump over to YouTube and check the video out. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment. Drop any reviews that you might fancy dropping. And if you want to find us on the internet, it's thecookiecast.com. There you can find social media links, and you can even drop us an email. Let us know how much you're enjoying the podcast. That's it for this one. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.